Sworn the 402. Welcome to the Nebraska Hawkeyes. These guys are brave. They're Hawkeyes, living in enemy territory. Listen, these guys are way past their prime, but they're still Hawkeyes. They're spreading the Hawkeye hype to all of Nebraska. The frost advisory is canceled. Corn Huskers, more like corn suckers. Are you ready for this podcast? Let's go Hawks!
All right, welcome back to the Nebraska Hawks Nest. Currently, we are joined by Iowa Hawkeye basketball legend, future Detroit Pistons legend, Luka Garza. How's it going, man?
It's going great. I love that video, by the way. But everything's going great out here.
Great. Well, you made an appearance in it, so thanks for letting us throw you in there. So, all the Hawkeye fans out there are really wondering how's the transition going into the NBA. You know, we all know it's a huge difference, and most of us really watched you over Summer League, and you really shined in the Summer League. It was a ton of fun to watch you succeed out there and play well, played with a ton of passion. Walk us through that transition and how much fun that's been for you.
Oh, it's been amazing. It's just still kind of pinching myself that every day I wake up and basketball is my job. Going to the gym, that's my job. So it's something I've dreamed about since I was a little kid, and to be living it is it's hard to describe what that feels like. And for me, the whole pre-draft was very interesting. I went into pre-draft with a goal in mind. I knew I had to change my body a little bit. In college, I was so heavily playing in the post, and I needed to be bigger because of the type of dudes I was dealing with on the block. And getting double teamed and triple teamed, you need that extra weight to be able to finish through that contact and do different things like that. But for the NBA, where I'm going to be putting ball screens more and different things like that, I need to be a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. So decided to lose some weight, and at one point I'd lost 30 pounds. Now I'm adding back some muscle. So I've lost around like 20, 25 pounds in total since last season. And so the transition's been great. It's a little bit different. Obviously, when I was in college, I expected to get the ball every time down or whatever the case may be. The offense was ran through me, and now it's different. But, for me, it's a role I feel like I can excel in where my energy and effort will just kind of be able to rise through in terms of being able to get to the glass, get some offensive rebound, get some tip-ins, hit my open shots and be able to defend with energy, take charges, do whatever I can to help the team win. And I think, whatever role I have in the NBA, I'm going to embrace it because I really never thought I'd be here. So it's been really fun so far.
Like we've talked about in the past, the NBA game has changed so drastically over the last 30 years. So if you were to be a player coming out in the 90s, you probably would have been a top 1, 2, 3 draft choice in the whole entire draft. The game is a lot faster now, really adapted more to that European style over the last 2 decades, with the centers got to be able to be just about as mobile as everybody else on the floor. What was that draft day process like? Did you go where you kind of expected to go in the second round, or did you guys have hopes and expectations to go earlier?
No, I knew I was going to the second round. I had originally thought, I'd done a lot of workouts. I think it was 14, and I really was playing some of the best basketball in my life in these workouts, and I was playing well and shooting the ball well and doing different things. And so I thought I put myself in a really good position to go early in the second round. And kind of when the day was going by, we kind of got a feeling on that night that I was kind of going to slip a little bit, and For me, it was just kind of motivation, and I knew Detroit was one of the places that was kind of circled the whole process. We knew they had interest. I went down there to work out. I had a really, really good workout. That was a workout. Me and Joe Weezy were both in that workout, so it was fun
Okay.
to do that together. And but it was a really good workout. Heard great feedback from them, and so I knew they were going to give me an opportunity. And really going into that night, I really had no solidified position on the team. I had no, didn't even have a two-way at that point. It was just kind of, if you play well, we'll make room. And so for me, I just kind of went into summer league with a mindset that I wanted to, do whatever it took, to be able to put myself in a position where, I was a part of the team, a part of the organization. And so that belief that I got from the GM Troy Weaver and Coach Dwayne Casey was, unreal. And again, it's very similar. When all it takes is one team, one person to really reach out and believe in you. And so, for me, that's all I need is just kind of one little opportunity. I felt like I made the most of it in summer league and was able to play well and help myself out. And I'm trying to continue to do that every single day. And now that I'm on the roster.
Yeah, my wife told me, she said, I've never seen you get so fired up for an NBA game before. And I was like, Luka is out there playing right now. I about flipped the coffee table a couple times. One of the times the coffee table about got smashed was when you dropped, it was Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway that I hadn't seen yet in the college game. And you were pretty fired up. I mean, it was beautiful. Now, tell us about if Dirk has had much influence on your game, because it seems like as you've evolved, especially going into the NBA, there's some Dirk flair to your game. And how much work did you put into that kind of one-step fadeaway?
Absolutely. I mean, Dirk has been a guy I've watched since another guy I've watched since I was a kid, and always, his ability to stretch the floor and face the rim and be able to score in so many different ways. And I feel like, the fadeaway in that move, I feel like I've always had it. And I think, at different points, it was just really easier for me to get to the lane and score in different
Mhm.
ways. And I felt like, it's a tougher shot than, getting to a jump hook or something like that. But now that I'm in a position where, kind of being able to score in that area where it's not all the way at the rim, but it's not all the way out. It's just kind of in that mid area, being able to get your shot off and use your touch to score. I think it's very important in the NBA with the level of elite rim protection, different things like that. So I feel like, it's just a move that I have to work on and have to get better at. And I feel very confident in it. When I pull it out, when I'm able to shoot it, I feel like it's going to go in every time. It's
Yeah.
just about, when that opportunity is the right shot and the best shot for the team. But for me, I have absolute confidence in that move.
I gotta say, it's my favorite move of the repertoire, and I know Hawk fans love it too. I'm sure Piston fans are loving it. Tell us a little bit more about your influences of basketball players growing up. So when we talked to your dad Frank a while back, it took me like a little bit of a time machine, because he's like, Luka had all these VHS tapes of all these like NBA players and highlight videos that he'd watched till they were just absolutely worn out, and I had the same exact tapes. Like, they look like they've been put through a shredder by the time I was done with them. I watched them so much. But tell us about some of your favorite players growing up that you really tried to model your game after.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my dad was 100% right. He had a stack of VHS tapes in the basement. And I'd go down there and put them in and watch them, and then I'd go on a little Nerf hoop or go outside and try to emulate the moves I was watching and seeing. So guys like Hakeem Olajuwon, Jack Sikma, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, um, Kevin McHale, uh, so many different players. Patrick Ewing. I mean, even Shaq in different points. Like I watch all these guys because I love to watch them play on the post and the way they use their footwork and skill to be able to score. And so I wanted to be able to be like that one day. So for me, it was so cool and so fun. And I still do that when I watch guys in the league who are just so good. I go against Kelly Olynyk every day, and it's awesome because he's a guy I've watched in the past and the guy I'm trying to continue to learn from. And now that he's a teammate of mine, I feel like I have a closer lens to see what he does and his craftiness and his ability to do a lot of different things on the court. So it's really cool to be around the guys, and especially, but when you talk about the Joel Embiids of the world, the Nikola Jokic's,
Hmm.
I watch those guys. I watch their film all the time because it's it's the things they do are so amazing. I just try to take bits and pieces, and you mentioned Dirk already, and there's so many other guys, but those big men who have the versatility and a lot of different unique skill sets. Those are the most fun players for me to watch.
No, that's a great answer. And then those VHS tapes they're so nostalgic. I don't think they make anything like that anymore. It's like you got to get on YouTube and look at some of the old YouTube highlights. Now with you shining in the summer league and with there being a big adjustment, was there ever that what they call that welcome to the NBA moment where you were like, holy cow, like this is, next level, like this is crazy that when you came into practice or played in a summer league game where it was like a little bit of a jaw dropping adjustment for you?
I think the biggest, I would say, welcome to the NBA so far has been, this whole month of practicing, like I said, against Kelly Olynyk. And, at first, in terms of guarding him, he's so crafty and he's able to draw fouls so well. I think the first day we played pickup, I might have fouled him 100 times, and so it was just, he's so good at using shot fakes and different things like that, which is things I pride myself on. And I felt like, I could go score, but defending him was tough because I had to adjust to the way he played. And so after, it's still obviously tough to guard him, but now, that first day playing against him, that first couple of days was an adjustment because it was almost like, for me when I was a senior and I saw some freshman come in who was excited to play me, who was, playing with a lot of energy. I knew he was just going to foul. And so I was able to take advantage of that. So to have someone do that to me, it was
Mm.
like, it was something like, oh, that's something that's very smart. And I got to adjust to that. And I've been able to adjust to that. And, obviously it's still tough, but I'm not fouling him as much as I was. So it's been good. And so I think that's been the biggest thing for me. And that's helped me so much over this month. I feel like going into these games, obviously as a rookie, you're going to get a lot of foul calls. They're not going to give you they're not going to give you calls on the other end. It's just an adjustment.
Mm.
And so for me, I need to be able to be smart and then be able to be in a position so I'm on the floor and not on the bench in foul trouble.
One of the cool parts about watching you in summer league was to see you really vibing out on the court with Cade Cunningham. I personally hadn't got to see him play a lot in college. I'd heard a lot about him, but mostly watching Iowa and Big Ten basketball. That guy's a scoring machine. So tell us what it's been like playing with an unbelievably high level scorer like Cade, and what your relationship's been like with him on and off the court.
Oh, it's been incredible. Since the day we got drafted together, you could tell this guy's a leader. And for me, it was crazy because I'm so much older than him, but he's already so mature, so much of a leader at his age. It's crazy. In the whole summer league, he's leading the huddles. He's doing all of this, and it was something that when you see a player like that, that's special. And what he can do on the court in terms of his vision, off a ball screen. He's one of those guards you love to play with because if you set a good screen, if you roll, if you're open, he's going to get it to you, and then he can go get a bucket anytime he wants to. So for me, it was really fun to be out there with him, and I think we both bring a lot of energy to the court, and so when we're both kind of firing and playing well, there's a lot of positive energy going on, and I think that was really cool, and so I've very very much enjoyed playing with him so far. Along with all of the other guys on the team that we have, there's so many really great players, and I feel like I've meshed well with a lot of.
Have you been able to meet any of the old Detroit Piston legends? Have they come back, maybe text you, giving you a call to welcome you to the program, like an Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer type?
My first workout with the Pistons in pre-draft, Ben Wallace was there,
Oh,
and
wow.
so I got to meet him then, and then since then, he's always around. So I've met Ben, Mr. Wallace, so many times, and he the other day he was helping me and Isaiah Stewart, in talking about post defense and his tricks, and so to hear that from a guy who, the NBA Defensive Player of the Year at one point should have been named after him. How many
Yeah.
times he won it. So to hear him talk about different things he did was so awesome for me. To be able to hear and because for me, I got to be really crafty and different points on the court, and I got to be able to maximize you know my brain and being intelligent because I have to make up for the athleticism where I can. And you can do that with outsmarting your opponents. So the different things he did. Obviously he was giving up size to some people, but he was very strong, and
Hmm.
so it was very cool to get some tips and tricks from him. Um, there's other players that I've met, but Ben I've actually talked to, and he's talked to the team. He was at a team dinner with us, and he talked for a while. So I've been able to be around him the most.
Okay.
So I'd say that.
He's a legend, and I think he just got put into the National Basketball Hall of Fame. Am I right? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he
yes,
did.
he did.
Okay. I love that they showed everybody's picture. They got inducted, and everyone's smiling, and then they show Ben's, and he's like real, like mean, like serious about it. And they're like, some things don't change. He was a serious ball player back in the day, and definitely a Detroit Pistons legend. So I don't know that there's many people at your position that you could learn from that would be better than that. So that's very cool. With your move to Detroit, how has that adjustment been? Have you bought a place? Did you just get an apartment? And what are your thoughts on the city of Detroit as a whole? Have you been adjusting?
I love the city. I got an apartment in the city, which is really nice, and I'm still kind of staying in the hotel as I get furniture and be able to furnish my apartment, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
waiting for a couple more weeks to be able to fully move in. But I love the city so far. It just sticks out to me. The people around here are awesome. It's I obviously grew up in DC area in the big city, and then went to Iowa, which was much different. But you know, I the people in the Midwest are amazing. So it's been really cool, and I got to go to a game in Ann Arbor. They played Washington one of the first weeks, and so that was cool. To
Nice.
see to see Ann Arbor and stuff like that. So I definitely have gotten around to different parts of Michigan before, but Detroit especially, I really like. The food's really good here. Like I said, the people are all amazing, and there's a buzz on the city about the team and
Yeah.
the direction this organization is going in, and that's because of Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey and what they've been able to instill. And so I'm very excited in our own time Gores and what he's done. So I'm very excited to be a part of this and the
Okay.
restoration as they call it. So it's been really cool so far.
You can definitely feel the buzz, like especially when you get on the Detroit Pistons social media pages. People are excited about that team, and there's
Hmm.
not been a buzz about Detroit Pistons basketball like there is right now. So it's got to be super exciting for you guys on the team and the city of Detroit as a whole. Food wise in the city, what's the one thing that you've had or the one place where you're like, man, I can't live without this. Like, I got to at least have this once, twice a week. This place is one of my go tos.
Yeah, so there's a couple different spots, but I tried Detroit style pizza for like the first time. And
Okay.
there's a place Buddy's around here that's supposed to be one of the best. I heard there's another place that's arguably better, but I went to Buddy's and got a Detroit style pizza. I can't have it too often because I gotta watch my diet, but it's extremely good. And so it's obviously kind of like a mixture between like the thin New York style and like the Chicago deep dish where it's
Okay.
kind of like in that mid ground where it's not super thick, but it's not thin. And
Okay.
obviously, the sauce is on top, which is different, but it was really, really good. And I definitely enjoy it. So, Detroit style
Okay.
pizza is definitely something that, I like a lot.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like just
Hmm.
recently, over the last month, Pizza Hut's had commercials for Detroit style pizza, and like I was like, I didn't even know Detroit had a style of pizza. Like that was a new thing to me. But that's cool that you've tried it. I've been wondering what it was like then since I saw that commercial. So that's
Yeah, it's squares with the sauce on top. So it's
Interesting.
different than, you know, but it's not as, it's like not as thick as a Chicago deep dish, but it's like, it's
Okay.
pretty thick.
Have you been able to keep in touch much with Joe Wieskamp, Oweezy? How's he doing down in San Antonio? How's his transition going? Do you guys get to talk too often?
Yeah, no, definitely. We catch up every couple weeks, you know, and just kind of check in on everything and how it's going. But, you know, he loves it down there, and I'm extremely excited for him and the opportunity he has ahead of him to be a part of, you know, such a great organization in the Spurs. And I think we both got lucky in terms of the places we were able to go.
Mm.
And so it's going to be really cool and kind of surreal to be able to play against him tomorrow. You know, so
Yeah.
it's definitely fun, and I'll be able to see him on the court tomorrow. So that'll be really cool.
Luka, with this new Iowa team coming up this year, what are maybe from your time with the team, one or two guys that you feel like maybe are flying under the radar that a lot of people aren't talking about that you've seen in practice that you're like, this guy can go once he gets out there and gets a real shot, he's going to really make an impression on the Hawkeye fans.
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, fans are, you know, kind of aware of Keegan Murray and what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously I would mention him, but I think, you know, everyone's pretty aware that we have a, you know, another NBA player in a Hawkeye uniform this year. But I'd say, for me, I'd say, you know, Patrick McCaffrey is a really, really good scorer. He's a really good player. I think he's going to be a guy that the team's going to need to lean on this year to be able to put the ball in the basket. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him, you know, step up. I'd also say Joe Toussaint. You know, obviously,
Yeah.
you know, this year he's stepping up into a bigger role and being a point guard, and you got to see a lot of that his freshman year, and this past year he was obviously a backup. So I'd say those two guys. I'd say, you know, Tony Perkins and Aaron Eulis are two other guys that are going to be key this year. And just when I came back and were able to watch the team a little bit, those guys stuck out to me as well as Keegan's little or other brother, Chris Murray, who's
Yeah.
really, really good as well. You know, they're obviously a little bit different, but you know, he's going to be extremely good. So I'd say those guys are the guys that, you know, I've seen through the practices that I saw down there that really kind of impressed me and made the biggest jumps in the offseason. And also, I always got to shout out my boy Austin Ash. You know, you put him in a game, he's
Yeah.
gonna make a three. No matter where he's playing. You know, he's a 3-point shooter that, you know, unlike any I've seen before. So those guys, I'd say, but really everybody in the team, I'm very excited about the improvements a lot of different players have made, and that's one thing Coach Fran is really able to do is develop his guys, and you
Yeah.
see guys constantly grow from freshman to senior year as completely different players. So that's a credit to the coach and his coaching staff and all the guys we have down there. Bill Maxwell, our strength and conditioning coach. There's so many people that play a role in that, but it's going to be exciting to see what the team does this year.
Luka, one of only 9 players in Iowa men's basketball history to have your number retired. I know that moment for Hawkeye fans was super emotional, as it was obviously for you. It really showed how, genuine you are as a person and how much you really loved your time at Iowa. And I don't know that there was too many dry eyes in the house when that happened. It was just a real culmination of us watching you grow over the 4 years as a Hawkeye, and it meant a lot to us as fans to see that happen. Can you bring us back into that moment a little bit about how much that meant for you and your family and how great of a moment that was?
Yeah, I mean, even hearing you talk about it gives me goosebumps. It's still something that's surreal for me. It's really something I never expected to happen coming to Iowa. It was never something that I even thought about, and just to know that that's going to happen is extremely, surreal. It really is. I just wanted to, come in and work as hard as I could, and then try to help the program as much as I could. You know, I told Coach on the phone when I committed that my goal was to try to make it to a Final Four, and fortunately, I wasn't able to do that. But I feel like, from being there my freshman year when we were 14 and 19, to leaving when we're a perennial top 5 team in the country and would have made the tournament 3 years in a row,
Hmm.
barring COVID my junior year. I think that, that ability to go from where we were to where we ended up, it took so many people and so many people's improvement on their self individually and as a team, and it was unbelievable 4 years. People always tell you that those years go by quick, but you don't really understand that
Yeah.
until it happens to you. And I definitely miss it already. Obviously, I love playing in the NBA and having basketball as my job, but I will always miss being around the team, being around those guys. They're my family, and really Iowa City is my home.
Mhm.
Home away from home. The fans, the community is my family as well, and I always try to be some part of that at some level because Iowa gave me so much more than I could have ever imagined. Going there, I didn't think that anything like that happened for me. So I feel like I hope I gave half as much back as University of Iowa and just Iowa
Oh,
in general gave to me in my 4 years.
you did, and the fans definitely know that, and you're always going to be beloved as a Hawkeye, and not just only yourself, but your family. I mean, the state of Iowa and Hawkeye Nation is very much in love with your family, and your dad has just been such a great advocate of the basketball program, and just a lot of fun to interact with. A guy that is such a engaging person. It takes time to talk to all the fans out there that want to say hello. So that's been an unbelievable experience on top of being able to watch all of your accomplishments at Iowa. But at this time right now, moving forward, Luka, has there been anything kind of new, like with endorsement deals or anything cool like that moving on to the NBA? Has anything like that come up, or are we still kind of holding off on that right now?
There's definitely some different things I've done, and some things that are, coming soon that, haven't been announced yet. But, I think it's, now being able to, unlike I could in college, and now that college players can do, I can, profit off my name, image, likeness. And I started that process with,
Yeah.
I sold 4 NFTs and we were able to give a ton of money back to the University of Iowa Children's Hospital and was able to keep some. And, there's so many different things I did, and also I signed a deal with Nike, which is really cool. And you never, and never growing up did I think I'd be wearing shoes and be endorsing them or being a Nike athlete. It's kind of crazy. So there's different things that I've been able to have, and I'm blessed. And obviously, like I said, so there's some other things that are on the way that I've been working on. So I'm just really extremely excited to be able to provide for my family, with my dream and with my love, which is basketball. So it's very cool, and I wouldn't be here without the University of Iowa, and no, but it's so great to see these college kids being able to do the same thing and being
Yeah.
able to maximize what they've done and their hard work and so it's going to be really cool to see the future of that.
Well, Luca, we're going to be watching. We wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to be forking out the money for the NBA League Pass this year to be able to watch you play. And I've already ordered my Luka Garza Pistons jersey. So
There we go.
we're pretty excited, man. I got to tell you, it was cool. I was in Kinnick 2 weeks ago and I saw about 5 or 6 people wearing a Luka Garza Pistons jersey. So I was like, oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, there are people
That's
are already
awesome.
supporting, man. They're excited. So we're gonna be watching all season long, man. Huge Detroit Pistons fan now, and we're gonna be
For
rooting
sure.
for you. And already planning a trip out to Detroit to watch a game. So
Awesome.
we wish you nothing but the best, Luca. Thanks for coming on and taking time to talk to us and update Hawkeye Nation on what you got going on right now, and best of luck this season.
Absolutely. Let's get a W this weekend in Iowa City too.
Oh, that would be beautiful. I'm hoping for it, man. That'd be big. We got a special season that could be happening right now. So
Absolutely. Yeah,
I know you're a big
absolutely.
football
Shout out to
fan
the
too.
football team. Shout out to the football team. I've watched every game and been extremely excited. My dad got to go to the game in Maryland. I was there at
I
the
saw
first game
that.
against Indiana, and so it's really cool, especially I know a bunch of those guys and how hard they work. It's truly a special season so far, and they're gonna keep it going. And
Yeah.
so I'm extremely excited for them.
Yeah, I'm excited too. All right, Luke, we'll have an awesome rest of the day. And thanks for coming on. And we always end it with a Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Yeah.